Morning. Morning. I always position this so you can see that very dirty mark there. Not sure what that is. Get rid of that. I bet you I can't. I bet you it's permanent. Yeah, pretty permanent. We just subtly move that over there so you can't see it. Morning, Sheila, Caroline, Heather. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Chrissy. No, it's not VersaFine ink. It's more likely to be paint. Yeah, need to get some bleach or something on it. There's all sorts on my desk. I never have a chance to clean it, let alone kind of move everything around on it. It's just a permanent mess, as is the rest of my room. Morning, Angie. Hi, Josephine. So this morning we're looking at Trudy's new collection. You may have seen Phil's update of his cover photo that shows the whole collection, and Trudy and Lozzie shared a finished sample yesterday, and then Phil shared one of Joanne's this morning. So hopefully when I get to the studios tomorrow there'll be lots of lovely samples. Ooh, lots of lovely samples for me to show you. So tomorrow on the craft store, the first show is at 3 p.m. and the second show is at 7 p.m. There's just 2 shows with Trudy's new stamps. Phil is doing a Facebook Live on his Sentimentally Yours page at 7 this evening. Obviously this one it will be on my Facebook page in the video section forever, and I'll also upload it to YouTube as well. So, as you may have seen, there are 6 new stamp sets, and this is quite different for Trudy, which is lovely. It's nice to have something completely different. They're A6 stamp sets, so not big images, so you don't have to make massive cards if you want to, and there's also a set where you can make even smaller cards if you want to. So each set has a main woodland character, and then lots and lots of different bits and pieces which you can use in other projects as well. They don't have to be exclusively used with the Woodland Friends. I mean, I can see myself using the corners and the flowers and the other elements with lots of different things. I mean, certainly the foliage is going to work well with my Fairy Hug stamps, so anything that I can use with those is absolutely brilliant. So the bunny himself is, let's get my ruler underneath this pile. The bunny himself measures from his ear to the tip of his whiskers 3.5 inches, because I don't do centimetres. There isn't even centimetres on this ruler. And he stands, I'm saying he, could be a she, he stands 3.25 inches tall. So we're going to use this one in our little demo today. So that's the first one. Then we've got the squirrel. And he's got a lovely kind of arbor shaped set of flowers. Obviously that's going to go around your ovals and your circle dies really well, and frame him beautifully. So when you're stamping, obviously you can choose whether to flat stamp and put the embellishments round, or create a scene if you want to, or you can actually fussy cut out your little woodland friend and have him standing proud. Lots of little acorns in this as well. Really useful sets. And then we've got the owl, and the owl is standing on a branch, and he's got kind of what do you call them, swags, little kind of little lines of beads and things hanging from him, and these little ornaments here. I mean, those ornaments, obviously you can use those in your Christmas projects, maybe not the flower, but certainly the star and the whatchamacallit, my words are escaping me already. The little gem that you've got there. You've also got another flower on here. And on another one, you've got a heart as well, I believe. I seem to remember. 2 different corners on this one. That's going to obviously work with your rectangles and your squares. And you've got these extra little swags here. I'm going to call them swags. I don't know what they're called. So those can actually embellish your corners as well. Or you can obviously add to these designs if you want to. I mean, you can see there's one in the corner there. And you've got a moon in here as well. Again, I can use those in my fairy hook stamps. So that's that one. And then we got the little mice. And he's got a beautiful, or she, a lovely swags here. Now, you think, well, why have I got one the same? Well, you've got one going right and one going kind of, they're going different ways, aren't they? That one's that way. That one's going left to right. That one's going right to left. I knew I'd get there in the end. And you've got opposite little butterflies as well, slightly different sizes, and the little sleeping mouse there. Really pretty. And we've got the fox, and he's got, I think these are morels, aren't they? Or maybe, I don't know, they could be bluebells. They could be whatever you want to be. And you can see again with this one, you've got some hanging embellishments again. Slightly different to these ones. See, that's a different gem. Can you see those are different gems? And then you've got, obviously you've got a star again, but that's a 5-pointed star and that's a 6-pointed star. And then you've got your little heart there. So they are different, so you're not duplicating. Lots of kind of seed building elements here. And then there's the floral swag with this one. Again, that can be used in lots of different occasions. In fact, most of them could be. Should we measure the fox? Let's measure the fox because we've been measuring. It's 3 5/8 by 2, just over 2.5. And the owl is, it's a bit smaller. From the bottom of that swag thing is 3 by 3 3/8 roughly. I don't know if things fall over down here. You've also got this little smaller set. Now, I know that we had there was somebody saying when we did the retro Driner collection that they wanted smaller images. Obviously, we've gone smaller with the A6 anyway, but these are even smaller. So these could be babies of the bigger ones. But you can see they're facing in the opposite direction, so they could be kind of talking to each other. So you've got the bunny, you've got the bunny going in the opposite direction. The squirrel, its tail's in the opposite direction. Then we've got the owl. Again, they're facing opposite, so it's really nice that they could be talking to each other. And the mouse is actually lying in the opposite direction as well. So, I mean, they could have been exactly the same and just scaled down, but they're not. And then you've got different embellishments in here as well to use, which are obviously scaled to work with the smaller images. Obviously, these are going to work on your tags. So if you want to make a matching card and a little gift tag, or you can just make a smaller card. So those are all the stamps. Yeah, but everybody loves cute, David. I would like a cute card. It doesn't have to be for children. Then we've also got this paper pad, Trudy's third paper pad. And I'm not going to show you all the papers because you can see what the papers are on here. So we've got 5 colourways. We've got 4 designs and we've got 2 sheets of each. So there's 40 sheets, 190 GSM as per usual. So you've got your ginghams, you've got the background papers, and these little butterflies and those bluebells and the other little flower there, they're obviously within your stamp set, so that's going to coordinate beautifully. You've got your wood grain here, and then you've got smaller versions of your little animals and some of the little floral embellishments in there as well. So they're all going to coordinate, and obviously the colourways across the different designs are going to work as well, so you can make a really coordinated card with several different designs. So that's the collection. It's not about need, is it? It is about want. If it makes you happy And if you find some kind of pleasure from it, then you actually do need them, don't you? Let's put those all to one side and let's do some stamping. Now I've moved away from black for these images. I've been stamping with brown and with grey. Just for a change actually, because I think that they're less harsh than the grey, the black rather. Honestly, I'm so tired. I've got such a ridiculously busy kind of 10 days. In fact, it's less than 10 days. Between now and the 20th, I've got 4 sets of shows, including a one-day special. Right. Let's pop this in my stamping platform. And we'll stamp the bunny. I'm obviously using I'm going to be colouring in with the Watercolour Blending Brush Pens because I'm happiest with those. But obviously you can use your alcohol markers, and I know Trudy's done some fabulous samples with the alcohol markers. And the cover that she's done, this is with alcohol markers as well. So it's nice to have that in front of you to give you a guide as to kind of how you can colour it in. Obviously, it doesn't have to be a grey rabbit. It could be a brown rabbit, because obviously out in the wild they're brown rather than grey, aren't they? And also you can do whatever colour you want to, because it's stamping, so you can do that. So I'm using Pinecone VersaFine Clear. Lots of tapping lightly. Don't want to go in the gaps if I can help it. You could of course paper piece as well if you weren't confident about colouring in, because they're very easy to cut. Obviously be careful of the whiskers, so it's actually quite a good idea to cut them out with a little border around them, so that when you cut around the whiskers it doesn't show all weird. You could of course add jute or twine or wire for the whiskers if you wanted to. There he is. Pretty. Pure white rabbit. Yeah, well yeah, you can get all sorts of colours, can't you? You can get kind of black and white rabbits in the kind of pet rabbits. I know that probably in the wild there's probably other rabbits other than the brown ones, because obviously some pet rabbits escape, don't they? Right, let's pull this off, and then we're going to stamp a background piece as well. Keep those stamps out, Julie. Now I'm going to move over to, because this is my Hampton Arts Stamp Perfect, which Phil and I both use, but obviously they're quite hard to get hold of. So what I've got is I've pulled out, I've got the Press to Impress from Crafts 2 on my website now. And if I pull out, where's my biggest stamping platform? I don't know, Julie, what have you done with your biggest one? Oh, there it is. So this is my biggest stamping art, Hampton Arts. So you can see there is a difference in size, but obviously this one's bigger than that one. So this stamp, the Crafts 2 one, is actually in between the two Hampton Arts sizes. So I'm going to have a go with this one and see how we get on. I might regret it, but hope it should work, because obviously they've sold loads of them. And I've got the charming dies are on the show, but they're on extended delivery from the 18th. So on my website I only have a few. I only have one rectangle and a couple of circles left. I'm waiting for the stock to come back in with Phil so I can restock. So as soon as Phil has it, I shall restock. So what we want to do is we want to put our corners on. So I'm hoping this will shut properly. Yeah. And I'm going to pop the corner that we get in the rabbit selection in the corner here. And I've obviously got, this is the largest of the rectangles in the charmed rectangles. See if I can get it on the dots. It's weird because it doesn't feel like it shuts properly, but I think it does. I think it's all right. We'll see how we get on. Obviously I'm committed to this one now. otherwise I'll have to cut another rectangle out. Right, so this is going in this corner here. And then, to keep it in the same place, so we're going to leave our stamp in place and just move around the rectangle. This is the beauty of the stamping platform. That's going to go in that corner. You can, of course, I think it would look lovely if you didn't actually colour these in. If you're not colourist, I think they'd look perfect. Either stamped and embossed or just stamped with the ink. So you don't have to colour in if you don't want to. Obviously, it's quite, you lose yourself when you're colouring in, which is quite nice. So that's number 2. Number 3. All I'm doing is making sure that my my charmed arches, for want of a better description of them, are actually butting up against the corner. In fact, this is not quite straight here. Here we go. I'll go with the next one. So there's obviously going to be a lot of scope for pattern building with these, because you could actually do kind of 4 where all the points in the centre line up. So you can make a central icon and then just put maybe a sentiment below it. And there's lots and lots of individual flowers that you can create your own backgrounds with. So one more. This is a bit like I like doing, making the frames. I keep on losing my ink pad, it's right in front of me. Nathan's just come out of the shower, so you're very lucky that we're not having Slipknot blasted out. Very lucky. There we go. So there's my frame. Isn't that pretty? So obviously within the collection you've got scope to use, make quite a few frames, because there's quite a few of the sets. I mean the owl's got 2 frames in it, or 2 corners, and then of course you on the others you've got the kind of like the arched elements in it. So I really like that. Okay, so there's my background. Let's do a little bit of colouring in. So obviously for my flowers, what I've done is I've started to do, when I go to the craft store, 9 times out of 10, I lose my charts. I mean, they keep them, but I've lost them to use at home for goodness knows how long. So for this, I've done a little kind of chart of what I've used. You can see I've decided not to use that one. So I'm going into set 4 and I'm using those 2 there. Set 2, set 4. I think of these 2 here. They look like it. So just for the flowers, I'll just do one because I've got one coloured in already. Just for the flowers, we're doing it that way, not doing that. We do dark first. We're doing blend to blend. So just colouring in around the edges of the flower. I really like doing these kind of flowers. This is my sort of colouring in, the easy bits. And obviously I do a corner at a time, and then to blend, just start in the corner, in the edge of the petal, and then you can go down to where that purple was, or red, or that darker pink was. So don't worry about contaminating your pen. They all seem to sort themselves out really well. This is the beauty of the watercolour blending brush pens. They are blending pens, so you can either use your water brush if you want more of a diluted colour, and that some of them do change their personalities as you actually use them. and they become totally different. Like some of the greys become a little bit bluer. If you're not happy with the blend, just go in with a little bit more ink down by where they meet. If you go out of the lines, don't stress. You can actually remove it with a bit of water, with a clean water brush. Sometimes you make more of a mess by doing that. So you can see how beautifully they blend in. And then for the centre of the flower, now I'm not going to get these mixed up because I'm colouring something in at the moment. Let's put those over there. Those are those two. The centre of the flower, I've just used this one, again from set 4, which is more of a kind of a, I don't know, an off yellow, but it's more muted. So carry on, carry on, carry on. And then you can see I've used, for the, again, staying in set 2, I've used 2 of the greens. So again, just take the darker one, get carried away with this. So it does take a while to colour all these in, but it is actually, you know, quite therapeutic. Take the lighter green. There's not a lot of difference between these two. You can go into the other sets and pick out, there are lighter kind of olive greens as well. Really simple colouring. And then what I've done for the little dots, because the little dots to me ring out gel pens. So if I can find, I should have got this out beforehand, shouldn't I? My little pot of, that's 720. Yeah, 720. I think this one's pink, called Pink Star. So for the little dots, you just go in with the gel pen. So this is the Stardust. So this is the glittery one. So that's going to get that going again. So this is going to have a little bit of a sparkle when it dries. Obviously it's wet now, but they're quite nice to add a little bit of interest to it. So let's go to the one that I've coloured in. That's the one I've coloured in already. So you can see it's got a little bit of a sparkle from the Stardust pen as well. So obviously with the frame you can change your orientation, so you can have it that way or that way if you want to. So that's all coloured in. Hope that's okay. And then let's go to the rabbit, or the bunny. The bunny. So for the bunny, I've used a grey from set 3. Two, which is that one, and I've also used a grey from set 1. Is that the right one? No. Let's have a look. Set 3, yep. And set 1. Just check. Yeah, that's my set 1. And I've also used 2 pinks from set 4. Already got one out. So that's my light pink. There's my 2 pinks from set 4. Right, so this is my version of how to colour this in. So we're going to go with the darkest of the grey. We're going to go, yeah, darkest of the greys, and just add a little bit of shade. Looking at my picture that Trudy's done. So I'm just going to add bit of shade around the top. I'm not a colourist, so you know, please be gentle with me. Just a little bit around his, wherever that bit's called, down his arm, these little furry bits. These are quite quick to colour in, unless of course you want to do a really good job when it takes a bit longer. And his little leg, and a little bit up his back, and then don't forget that bit there as well. Okay, then I'm getting my favourite brush from set 3 going. Hopefully there's enough water in this. Ooh. And then we're going to pull this out. This is one of the greys that changes its personality a little bit. And it won't necessarily look quite right just at this point. It's one of those things. I remember our Trudy saying that you need to fall out with it before you love it. And that's definitely been the case with me. So pulling out his ear, not literally pulling out his ear, but pulling out the colour in his ear. I think I need some more water. Again, the watercolour card, the super smooth watercolour card from Sentimentally Yours is the thing to use. You can move the colour a while afterwards, you know, you don't have to do it all straight away. So now just moving around that colour to bleach it out really. So this is just the first kind of application. Making it all move. Around his arm. And just that little foot there. Okay. Doesn't look too bad actually on the first go. We are going to perhaps add another go. You need new eyes, I need new eyes, I need my eyes tested, but I'm not going anywhere near an optician's until July, I shouldn't think. Right, let's add a little bit of the ears. So we're going to go with the darker colour first, in here, and then to the point, and then blend it out with the lighter colour. So I'm not going any water on this, I'm just going blend on blends. This is a very pale pink. As simple as that. That's really easy to do. And then we go with the I keep on looking at these, which is the lighter grey. That's the lighter grey. I'm going to go with the lighter grey just in here. I'll add some more of the darker grey in a minute, just letting it settle down a bit. Again, doing that just around the edges. You could go, if you wanted to do, see on Trudy's, she's got like fur marks. If you wanted to do that sort of thing, you can go in while the water, while the water's still wet, or the card's still wet, you can go in and if you scribble onto your craft sheet or your blending mat, you can go in with the kind of diluted pen and just dab it, and it will get that kind of mottled effect. But I don't want to do that on this one. I will show you when I do the owl, when I demo them, if I get to do the owl. I think the owl might be my last demo on a 7 o'clock show. Right, so moving that around. So it's the tummies are normally white-ish, but we've gone for this lighter grey. So to make the finish off the kind of, we're just going to do the same thing with these kind of outer bits, if you see what I mean. So we're just going to go again with more of that dark grey in here, and do exactly the same thing as we did before. Just try to a bit more depth. So the card will still be a little bit damp, which is fine. Piece back. I think the bunny's probably one of the easiest to colour in. So, you know, if you're a little bit unsure about it, I would definitely go for the bunny first when you get your stamps, because I imagine that most of you are going to buy the whole collection. So this is more like this grey is more like a warm grey, so it's more of a browner tone to it, as opposed to a cool grey, which is more of a cooler tone to it. I've just gone outside the lines. It's all right. I'd cut this out, and I will cut this out. There's a horse outside. I thought there was a horse around here because there was some horse poo on the road. I mean, we live next to a council estate, so it's quite surprising to see a horse poo on the road. I'm just pulling this out a bit. Obviously, if you preferred it how it was before, then don't do this second stage. And take your time as well. I'm trying to do it quite quickly. And my pen's running out of water. Of course it is. It's live. Must fill it up for tomorrow. Tomorrow. It is tomorrow, isn't it? Wednesday, yes. No idea what day of the week we're on. And this will kind of settle down a bit as the card dries out. You will find that you won't get such harsh lines. Okay, I'm happy with him. Happy with him. And I'd probably go in with the just the lighter grey, just in his little pads. Okay, so there's my rabbit all coloured in. So obviously we cut him out, and I've got one that I've cut out already. Here he is. They look almost the same, don't they? Phew. So let's make this up into a card. We've got all the bits and pieces. My buttons. Right, so because I've stamped in the pine cone, which is the brown VersaFine Clear, I'm using Chocolate Bliss card from Sentimentally Yours. I don't know what I missed what the comments are because I was colouring in and all right, so a very good colour match for the watercolour card as far as creams are concerned is actually the Alabaster White. So rather than waste your watercolour card on your mats and layers, Alabaster White is a really good one to get. So I've got my largest double D rectangle out of Chocolate Bliss, and I've taken the next size down and cut the Forest Woodland Friends, the one with all the animals in it, out of the next size one. So we're going to just glue that in place. Where's my glue? There it is. Come on, 60mm one. Somebody at the door. I'm not answering it. I know what it is and I'm not answering it. Nathan, don't bother. I think it's that census thing. Filled in the online census and they want to talk to us again. But I don't think they realise that some people actually work from home. Well, they must do because I filled it in. So, right. I'm certainly not going to stop what I'm doing right now for that. It'd be different if they made an appointment and they come back at a time that, you know, was an appointment. I don't think it's the postman. It's not the postman. And there's no way Nathan will talk to them. So, right. So I'm just putting. I've gone down to the 1mm tape rather than 2mm on everything because it means that storing all these is takes up less space. I should make an appointment. You're going, oh, foxy. Oh. I quite like the fox. I enjoy colouring the fox in. Right, that's going on. Hopefully this is straightish. There we go. And then we're going to pop on our, now I need to leave enough space for my sentiment. So I reckon we're going to go slightly up on that. I tried to pull out, because in the background here, it looks like a pink, probably red. So I probably don't match that well, but it is what it is. It's pink. It probably should be red. Oh well. My charming rectangle. Then I've got a charming diamond here, and I figured that that would look quite nice just there, because when we begin bringing out a rabbit, he'll have something to sit on. Obviously, we don't need to do that if we don't want to. We could have it more plain, but I think I want to bring in another one of the background papers because they are rather lovely, and I'm going to add that there. And I'm going to put that on flat rather than raised. Remember, less is more with the glue. Don't put loads on. I love these charts. I think these are the prettiest dies that Phil's done so far. They're just absolutely beautiful. And you can see that the papers are absolutely fine cut with them. And if you've got the compendium box set, all the charming dies match the border that's in there absolutely beautifully. So my rabbit's going on here. My bony rabbit. With some tape. And rather than have his whiskers all exposed, I'm going to pop a little bit of glue on his whiskers because they're quite thin. And I don't want them to break off or be, you know, when samples are manhandled. They're not really manhandled, but at the studio I don't want them to get all damaged. I've got glue all over my finger now. Now it's all over my trousers. And he's going to go in there like that. These whiskers are nice and secure. They're not going to break off. Yeah, there are some birdies outside. There were some pigeons earlier. Right, let's get this sentiment sorted out. So we've got the sentiment dies on the show. So this is from your essential sentiments, and I've done what Phil's done. So I reorganised all my dies. So I've got my shadow and my actual sentiments. All my die sheets are with the right one, that way round, so that I don't have to hunt for them. So that was quite a good tip from our Philip. Yeah, the pigeon's starting again now. So these are very fine. So I find the easiest way is to scribble onto my craft sheet. I can't be doing with putting it on the back of my hand because it does actually dry the glue out quicker because of the warmth of your hand. So now we're just going to pop that in there. And pick it up. Just stand up to make sure I get that right. There we go. Give it a press. And then the birthday. I mean, obviously there's loads of sentiments on there's both the sets. There's the, well, I can't remember what the other one's called, but both the sets are on the show. And do remember that the Charming dies sold out really quickly when Phil did his one-day special. So if you're after those, get in quick. Or order them for me when I get hold of some. Or from Philip. But either way, they're really beautiful dies. Right, that's my sentiment all done. So all we need to do is put our corners on and our sentiment, and then we're all done. I've still got glue on my sheet. I need to get rid of that, sorry. There we go. Okay, so we'll put the buttons on first. So I've just got, the buttons are from the diamond one, I think. It's the circles. I'm sure it's the diamonds. That's the oval. Yeah, the diamond one. And I've just put some twine through. I don't know how well these are going to stick because they're slightly raised now. I tried to put some baker's twine through with my darning needles, and that didn't work. My darning needle eye is too big. So, but I found my twine in the end on my desk. Get off. So just rather than a pearl in each corner, we're going to put the buttons in each corner. I have to have my knots facing the same way. Get in there. No flowers on this one, but it is very easy to put your flowers on cards with these little animals. And three of my 4 demos have got flowers on, so when I do them on the TV you'll see. And our happy birthday is going to go down here. So just a little bit of glue on the end of those. Obviously when you get to your shadow it's easy to put the glue on, not as fiddly. Pigeon's really going for it. There we go. So there we go, there's our demo finished. Oh no, I can't be doing with the sponge thing. No, no. Just reading some of your sentiment, your comments. I will look at them properly afterwards. Also, the other thing that you can do, of course, is use your Elizabeth Craft Designs double-sided adhesive and cut your thingy out, your sentiment out of that and pop it onto there. But there we are, nice and simple. Rabbit, really easy to colour in. The corners and all the embellishment dies are fabulous within this set, and I highly recommend the Sakura Stardust pens to give you, you know, for your little dots, because quite a few of the images have little dots in them. So thank you for joining me, and hopefully you can tune in to Phil's Facebook Live at 7 o'clock this evening. Remember to go to the Sentimentally Yours Facebook page. It's not in the group. If you're not a member of the group, actually, that's a really good place to see sneaky peeks before anybody else gets to see them. So pop over to the Crafting with Phil Martin and Sentimentally Yours group and ask to join. You must agree to all the rules, because we only really want to see all your projects with Sentimentally Yours products, please. But like I say, do join that group, and I will see you on the telly box tomorrow on the craft store at 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. And I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye.